For me personally, it's about coming out here, spending time with our sailors, hearing what's on their mind, hearing what their concerns are, and what it is that they're doing really well, so that I can share that with senior leaders back in Washington that shape policy and have the authorities to allocate resources. As well, my wife Teresa came here with me to hear from the families and from the Command Ombudsman so she could report back to the Chief of Naval Operations. Well, first and foremost, it's important that the training that they're conducting serves its intended purpose. But also we want to ensure that we're not placing undue administrative burdens on our commands. So we've taken a look at the general military training, we've reduced the overall scope, and we're focusing more effort on those areas that we believe to be the priorities today. So zeroing in on excellence, about 3 areas of focus: developing leaders, good order and discipline, and controlling what we own. I'm talking about all 3 on this trip, but in particular, I'm talking mostly about controlling what we own. I'm very pleased to report that our sailors are taking advantage of many of the areas that don't require funding or a lot of permission, such as the initiative that my Chiefs Mess here in South Korea is doing with the South Korean Navy in professional leadership development courses with our junior petty officers. It's been wonderful so far. The hospitality has been great. I had a chance to spend time with the South Korean MPCON today. That was wonderful, and I appreciate command leadership and our sailors affording me the opportunity, and Teresa the opportunity, to hear from them. Right, my philosophy of leadership: quiet, humble, servant leadership. So quiet doesn't mean that you don't communicate. I expect my chiefs to be very vocal, and their sailors need to hear from them. But we let our actions speak for our words, not the other way around. To be humble doesn't mean we think less of ourselves, but it means that we think more of others, that we place our sailors in front of our own needs. And to be a servant leader is to recognize that you serve both those above you and the subordinates that you work with every day. They don't serve you, we serve them. That's what it means to be a Chief Petty Officer in the United States Navy. Sure, I'd like to say thank you again to all of our sailors, officer and enlisted, that are serving here in South Korea, for the wonderful work that they and their families do every day in support of the Navy's overall mission. I wish them all the best, and I hope that I have an opportunity to come back sometime in the near future to visit more of the sites here in South Korea. The Pacific theater of operations for the Navy has been, is, and will always be extremely important. On this particular trip, we're going to visit Japan, Korea, Singapore, Guam, Hawaii, and then we'll head back to Washington, D.C. What I've taken away so far from this trip, and this is only our second spot, is that my sailors never cease to amaze me. They, no matter where they're at, they perform at the highest level, and the families in the 2 locations that we've been at so far, they are all in. And I'm grateful that they are, because Teresa and I know this: without our families, what we do is not possible. So I'm just, again, thankful to be able to spend time, Teresa and I are thankful to be able to spend time with our sailors and their families. I hope my sailors know this already. I share this all the time during my all-hands calls at the conclusion of it. Some people might think that it sounds a little strange, but I will tell you this: for Teresa and I, our sailors and their families are our families. We don't just care about them. We love them like family. Doesn't mean that the expectations aren't high, doesn't mean that their lives won't be stressful at times, and it doesn't mean that we won't ask a lot from them. What it means is that we recognize how challenging life in the Navy can be, and it's always going to be challenging. It always has, it probably always will be. But that doesn't mean that we can't love our sailors and their families. And so I just wanted to share that with them, and I hope that it means something to them because it comes from the heart. Thank you.